Welcome to the journey with Ammar Sheikh, where we explore stories of achievers, believers, and change makers. Every journey we explore on this show carries purpose, but today's episode is different. Today, the journey is not about one individual, it's about a mission. Water has no voice, yet it carries every story. It remembers our past, sustains our present, and determines our future. Welcome to a special episode of The Journey with Ammar Sheikh, where instead of one guest, we welcome a movement with the name Water Speaks. Today, I have the privilege of welcoming not just guests, but the powerhouse of knowledge, purpose, and responsibility. Joining me is Dr. Romila P.Verma, the founder and president of Water Speaks, an educator, a researcher, filmmaker, and a global advocate for freshwater sustainability. Dr. Romila's work bridges academia, policy, and community action, from teaching at the University of Toronto to leading research used by the City of Toronto, to directing the powerful documentary named Water Be Damned on the Satluj River. Her journey reflects a rare blend of science, storytelling, and service. She reminds us that knowledge alone is not enough. It must be shared, felt, and transformed into action. Alongside her, I am joined by Ms. Zehra, Vice President of Water Speaks, an environmental scientist whose work brings science into communities. With hands-on experience in environmental consulting, groundwater and soil assessments, and a deep concern for climate change and global crisis, Zehra represents the next generation of leadership as she is informed, empathetic, and action-oriented. Her passion for community engagement reminds us that sustainability is not just about data or collecting data, it's about people. Together, Dr. Romila and Zehra don't just speak about water, they listen to it, learn from it, and amplify its message for all of us. It's an honor to welcome the team behind Water Speaks to the journey with Ammar Sheikh. Let's begin a journey where water speaks and we listen. Hello and welcome on the show, Zehra and Dr. Romila. So nice to have you both.
Hi, Ammar. Thank you.
So the idea behind the whole show is I've already named it as a special episode because we are not going as we do conventionally about a personality and their work behind their contributions to the society. But this time around, it's beyond that. We are not just talking about giving back to the community or the people. It's massive. It's huge. It's beyond people. It's about giving back to the nature and protecting that and talking about the sustainability of water and the natural resources. So let's dive deep onto that, and I will let you speak more on that subject because that's my little contribution of this wonderful cause.
That's amazing.
All right, Dr. Romila and Zehra, if you can brief us or walk us through your background and how was your personal journey like, and what shaped you in the person you are today.
Absolutely, and thank you again, Ammar, for inviting us, and Canada One for being there for us, and just letting us talk to people about water, about nature, about environment, and several other issues. So it's just, as you said, we'll start from the very beginning. And that would be our journey where it started. Mine started in India, in a city called Calcutta, beautiful city, Kolkata now.
Yeah.
I was born there. And I think what impacted me was to see the dichotomy that we live with, right? The poverty, the extreme affluence combined together, and it always touched me, always made me question on why this inequity is so prevalent. So when you start questioning it, you start thinking deeper about these situations, right? And so my journey from there to being the president of or founder of Water Speaks has so many ups and downs like everybody's life. But I always tell the story about how water found me. I did not find water. And it just so happened I got malaria when I was 10. I got typhoid, which I thought was brutal at age of 14. And age of 20, I had jaundice, all water-based, waterborne illnesses, right? So that made me really think, if you're a reflective person, and the school really helps to, make us question rather than accepting the answers that are given to us. So you think beyond that, then you do get answers. And so I was drawn towards water because she found me, or they found me. Since then, I started pursuing courses in water hydrology, ultimately did my PhD from Delhi School of Economics, came to Canada, joined not-for-profit organization, Canadian Institute for Environmental Law and Policy, amazing organization. And then it continued with joining University of Toronto. Working with students really is my catalyst or inspiration to start Water Speaks.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your introduction. Zehra.
Thank you, Ammar, for having us on the show. My name is Zehra. I'm an environmental scientist and Vice President of Water Speaks. So I'm privileged to be here. Water has always been precious to me since I was a child. I would visit Pakistan, my home country. I was born there in Karachi. And although I was born in Pakistan, I lived in Saudi Arabia half of my life. So visiting Pakistan was not only fun, being with loved ones, but it also opened my eyes at a very young age to global challenges, specifically with water. I'm sure, Romila, you can contest to this.
Absolutely.
Well. There were times where I remember my mom and loved ones would always give us a warning that the water may go out at a certain point. It'll get
Not to waste, yeah.
Not only that, Ammar, but the time that we had water, I would always see my, loved ones, they would always fill up tubs of water because you know that at any point it will get cut off, whether it's in the evening or following that. And I remember at a young age, I was very curious and concerned that why is this happening? And surely enough, when the water truly got cut off, you only have that supply to utilize, whether it's for a few days or weeks. And that's where the whole concept of water conservation kicked in for me.
True.
And then, of course, when you go back to Saudi Arabia, I was blessed, fortunate that water would run at my convenience. 24/7, and I could use it at my convenience. So I would always have that, okay, Pakistan, limited water at some time, and then in Saudi Arabia, there's ample amount of supplies. So I was really curious about this, and that's when, as I grew up, I started telling at the time, and I found Water Speaks through Romila, and this whole voyage of trying to find a way to promote water conservation and sustainability, it came to be on here.
Okay, wonderful, fantastic. I welcome you both again, and
Thank
that
you.
reminds me of, again, my childhood contribution to the same subject of getting to know from our school and the books, the textbook says, on Earth, planet Earth, water is 70%.
Yes.
Correct me, you guys are the right, we have a professor over here. So water is 70% as in the ratio of 30% of the land. Same goes with our body and all of those things. And Pakistan, as you mentioned, and India, which are rich in resources, natural resources. So what was the need of that time that the reservoirs were not correct, the dams were not being built in the right, and the poverty level or maybe the mismanagement of resources was there. Definitely water was there. It was just the mismanagement of getting it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, wonderful. We'll just move forward and start talking about, before that, how did you both meet, and before getting into the Water Speaks, what was the whole episode like?
Yeah, we have a wonderful story, Zehra. How did you?
Because I see a common connection within the introduction is the University of Toronto. You being a graduate and you being the teacher over there.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very good question, Ammar. So, a few years ago, in
I think 21. or 20, just 22, right?
2021. Let's go with 21.
Let's go with 21, yeah.
So back in 2021, when you are an alumni, you get called back to the university to inspire students. And I was fortunate to be reached out by one of the student members requesting me to come in as an alumni to be a career panelist. And I thought that was exciting, and I was honored to be part of that platform. And I saw the delegates during the flyer campaigning, and I happened to see Dr. P.Verma there, and I didn't know who she was, but I just knew that she was a professor at UFT, which I thought was brilliant. And you know, the connection, Romila being from India, I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
So we didn't know each other. At the panel, when we had our introductions, and she was giving her speeches about who she is, what she does, and how she was guiding the students towards mentorship. While she was talking about Water Speaks and her founding organization, I had my eyes beam open. And during the program, Ammar, honestly, the only thing I could think of is, I must speak to Professor Romila before she leaves tonight. And
you did.
Yes,
You did.
Surely enough, I reached out to her. I was awed by her grace, by her knowledge, by her wisdom. And with courage, I approached her and said, Dr. P.Verma, truly honored to be in your presence. And I don't know if you're looking or recruiting, but I would be delighted to join your team. If you want to think about it, let me know. And surely enough, she said yes. And here we are. Rest is history.
That is wonderful. So you find your calling in the Water Speaks.
Yes, she heard what I was talking about, and it just we just connected. We just connected, and I had just opened, registered the organization in 2020, so it was pretty new, right? It was I was trying to look for people to help us, and that's what I always am so thankful. Somebody like Zehra decided to join this organization, and she brings in so much strength. And without her, we couldn't be at this point making documentaries and hosting events. It's her energy and her passion that drives Water Speaks.
Amazing.
So,
that's beautiful. I read somewhere that water makes or finds its own way.
Yes.
I think that's how you got connected to
That's
Water
it.
Speaks.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward, let's talk more about the Water Speaks itself. Dr. Romila, why did you find the need for a specific topic and a platform focused solely on the water awareness or about Water Speaks?
Yes. So my goal at that time was, because I teach hydrology, water resource management, I know a little bit more about it than other people. So we know that we are at a crisis point, and we know something needs to get done about it. And I was thinking we don't do enough. There's so much to, billion people not having access to clean drinking water,
Right.
billion people not having access to water sanitation. Where is the justice here? So this whole thing about equity, which I talked about, which I had in my mind growing up, it just did not make sense. So we went through the whole journey of what should we call it, and we need an organization like this. There were some friends who helped me. So that's what emerged out of it, not just awareness.
Right.
So our mission is very simple. We translate the voice of water through research, education, and action.
Okay, research,
So,
education,
and action. So, and then how do we reach those goals? Through research, we are doing blog posts run by students, run by young people. So they do their research in my courses anywhere around the world. If anybody, it's a call for this young people around the world, please contact us. Go to our website and come to us. That's the research. education is documentaries that we are working on and we have released.
No, that is remarkable. Like when I got to know and I found that opportunity to explore more as a student myself
Yes,
too, you know,
yeah.
a student of nature need to understand more about
Absolutely.
water. But at times we are just too much focused on the number game
Yes.
or the monetary things
Yes,
within
yes.
the society. But this is something important.
This is very important,
This
yeah.
is, so I thought that that'll be a good opportunity even for
Absolutely.
myself and the viewers too.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay, what does Water Speaks represent beyond just being a not-for-profit organization or just being an organization?
For me, it's a philosophy. It's an idea. Water is such a connector. If you're a water person, if you believe in water, you won't see any divisions, any borders. Water goes everywhere. You need water, water is there,
All
right? So it doesn't matter if you're from Pakistan, I'm from India, we are one. That's the message for me. It's very philosophical and
Beautiful.
spiritual.
One quick line before I take a short break. If water could speak today, what would it ask for from the humanity? Zehra.
Hi. As Romila beautifully mentioned, everything is water. Water is everything.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Everything is water, and
Water
water
is
is
everything.
everything. On that wonderful note, I'll be taking a short break with your permission. This is not just a conversation, it's a reminder that change often begins with awareness, education, and collective responsibility. That is what Water Speaks is doing, spreading awareness and asking people to join the team. We'll be taking a short break. Don't go anywhere as we explore more on the Water Speaks. Be right back.
The first thing is that we are so disconnected from the spirituality and philosophy, the ethical aspect of water, which is actually quite a paradox because we need water. Water is life. It sustains everything on this planet, and that's why it's a blue planet. Yet at the same time, the way we treat water, we not only disregard it, I feel that sometimes we don't even see water. It's kind of an invisible thing. We take it for granted.
Welcome back on the journey with Ammar Sheikh, where we're exploring from the team of Water Speaks such an impactful contribution towards the planet Earth. So, moving to the segment leadership, impact, and service. We have already spoken about their backgrounds, their personal life, and how Water Speaks came into being, and what is the sole purpose of that. So let's talk about more on the leadership, as leadership is not about position. It's about responsibility. And I have two wonderful ladies representing Water Speaks. Let's explore more from them. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Okay. How do your individual journeys shape the collective vision of Water Speaks? I'll let both of you speak on your own behalves. Doctor.
Okay. When we talk about collective, it's a very powerful word for me. And especially if you are an educator and responsible to channel the young generation towards what's to come. And I'm not going to go into detail about climate change and things going really bad all over the world. So the collective from my point of view is how the young people are channeled towards the direction that, because they will inherit all this issues, how they are moving forward with that, with knowledge that is essential, and information, and the desire to do good, show up and to do good in the world is what collective means for me. So this is a very good sitting place in the sense you come, you learn, you accumulate knowledge, you do action items, how to impact the world, and on behalf of water, right? As you said, water speaks and we listen. That's the collective for me.
Oh, wonderful. Zehra, you want to add on to something?
Absolutely. feel like Dr. Romila covered majority of it, but just adding on to her wonderful message, it's about being proactive, the way I see it. It's very easy, Ammar, for us to have a, sit down and give a list of problems. Anybody can do that. But how often do you find people or individuals who say, you know what, with all these problems listed, let's have a solution. Very hard to find that. So Water Speaks is a little bit different. We have an approach where we invite individuals and people to connect. Sometimes when you have a challenge, it brings everyone together at the same platform. What is the goal here? The goal here is to save water. The goal here is to save nature. One of the ways we can do that is to be proactive, raise voice, and like Dr. Romila says, come together, do not only beyond academic research, but do events, have a talk. What is it that we can do to come up with a solution? And that's where Water Speaks shines very remarkably. Not just at an academic level, but at an inviting level. We want Water Speaks, which it is, to speak for itself. It's an inviting platform that's approachable. While it's listing problems, it's an advocacy for providing solutions and finding passion, love, and empathy, and I would say an interactive source. So we don't want this message or this organization to be recognized as, making anyone depressed. We already have enough of that. Now I would like Dr. Romila elaborate more on eco-anxiety because that does exist. But we want to have fun in bringing people together and doing something about it.
Yeah, that is amazing, brilliant. What role does education play in sustainable change?
Tremendous. I would say that's the key. Without education and knowledge, how would you even think about offering solutions and making those changes? So it's a huge thing. And I've seen, all over the world, in global way, people are connected to nature and environment so intimately. It's a spiritual connection, right, to nature. So if you throw in the concept of science, having evidence, so science-based, I would say, education is what is needed right now. So that is a big push towards acquiring sustainability, because it's not just the education, it's not just that sector, it's the entire sector around the world, whether it's industrial, whether it's municipal, you name it. We all need to achieve that goal of sustainability, and education is the hallmark.
Definitely. No, that's perfectly very well defined. Another one is, how do workshops and community engagements translate into real world impact? I know you guys have been working vigorously in getting into the workshops, community team building events and stuff. I've been a part of a few as well. Zehra, if you want to highlight one of those.
Certainly, Ammar, Water Speaks was delighted to host last year's event, Harmonizing Wellness and Environmental Sustainability. That took place on Father's Day, June 15, 2025. It was our first event, community event, really, an inaugural event where we wanted to show the face of Water Speaks. Who we are, what are we trying to achieve, what is our mission, and what are we hoping for at the end. So a remarkable turnout. We had roughly about 200 people. 200 people, and it was a mixture of patriots and vendors and organizers who believed in our cause. So what was it? So harmonizing wellness and environmental sustainability. We covered a lot about our health. I would say over the years, COVID made a huge impact. One of the most impactful in a positive way was that people started focusing on their health. Now you can see the demographics has changed, their perspective. What are they eating, nutrition-wise, going to the gym, being physically active, trying any means to avoid, affecting their health, which is all fantastic. But honestly speaking, we don't have enough public awareness in the environmental aspect. When that gets pointed out, it's all about, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't know is a popular term, or something like what difference can I make as an individual?
Yeah.
And that's where I will gently step in and say, it takes a single step, a single person to make a world of a difference.
Mm.
So that event brought the harmony together to say, your health is under the mercy of the environment. You can be healthy as a horse, but if your environment is polluted, if the air is contaminated, if the water is contaminated, if your food that you're consuming is not healthy, there is no chance of you having a longer survival rate. Am I right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we want people to be aware of their surroundings, of the environment. I think we were having a chat earlier that we live in a hustling and bustling time where it's always by the clock. Oh,
Yeah,
I gotta wake
everybody's
up, get
busy.
ready, go to school, go to work, get back home, follow that cycle, on a routine basis. But how often do we be still and appreciate nature, appreciate our surroundings? When was the last time, Ammar, when you opened the door that you saw nature?
Sure. No, yeah, that's a beautiful thought, and I think that's the luxury we are missing. As nowadays,
Yes.
a lot
Yeah.
of people are saying
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
having your inner peace and enjoying the nature is the new luxury.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
how we
yeah,
do
yeah.
the staycations
Yes.
and go by the
Staycation,
villages
yeah.
and cottages.
Yeah,
and
yeah, and
live by the lake.
near a body of water though.
Yeah,
You'll see water
live
is
by the-
always the big attraction, whether it's
True,
beaches,
true.
lakes,
100%.
rivers,
And
we
even
are.
the sound of rain
Yeah.
or the falling
Yeah,
river.
it's
All of
meditative.
that is like
Yes,
so,
very meditative.
so soothing.
Yes, it
If
is.
I
I would
may,
say.
Ammar, I wanted to add on to that.
Please.
When I was working as a field assistant, it was one of my joys of working in the field is people would ask me, oh, what do you do? Some people would say, well, I work in the office, this and that. And I say, nature is my office.
Oh,
That's
a-
excellent.
oh,
Yeah, I
fantastic.
love that.
Nature is my office.
I just love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to
yeah.
hop on to another question, seeing that passion in you both, and I'm very, very happy that we are sharing this platform today. What do you consider as your proudest achievement so far under the umbrella of Water Speaks?
That's a tough one. There are so many things. You just
I
want
can
one?
imagine, yeah. No,
I-
you can highlight.
Highlight,
Yeah.
yes, highlight a couple. I would say the documentary. We had no money. We literally had a begging bowl, and we went to family and friends saying, please contribute. With that, with no financial support, somehow we went through the whole filming, and it won 6 awards.
Wow.
Nature Without Borders, the most, I love that. I mean, all of them are equally important for us, but getting that award just made us feel so proud. And this is, you must understand, Ammar, everybody's busy, they are working, they are students.
Yeah.
They are spending their own time in these projects, not getting paid. How dedicated you have to be.
This is remarkable.
So it's all my students, volunteers, the advisory committee, everybody. That's who I am proud of the most. They help us move forward. They inspire us every day. And of course, our second documentary series of events, we also host World Water Day at University of Toronto. And when you were saying workshops, if I may, our archetypes workshop.
Yes,
So this is my research where I attribute personalities to water. So are you a cloud personality? Are you ocean? Are you river? Are you lake? Are you
Right.
glacier? Are you underground? Groundwater.
Interesting.
So my students then do a series of workshop, and we came up with a skit, almost 10 minutes. And Zehra also played a big part in that skit. She acted. 6 students, they acted in that script, in that play, and each of them had a personality. And then we had the posters around the room, and the audience were encouraged to tell us which personality or archetype they think they are. And we have attributes. If you're a river, you're a linear thinker, lake, circular thinker, and few other attributes.
That is
Ocean is a,
interesting. That
yes,
is so
and they
interesting.
loved it. And that's how my students learn
Right.
through water archetypes, and they create a policy based on that workshop, an assignment comes out of it, and they get marked. So
What I wanted to add on, Ammar, is that I thought this was ingenious, Romila. It was very creative.
it
Very
is
beautiful,
creative and
yeah.
science getting together.
Yes, because
Yeah.
the thing is, if you remember growing up in school, you must have learned about all these concepts.
Yeah.
How does a glacier operate,
Yeah.
clouds and groundwater. And if I remember hydrologic cycle, I used to love all these things. But I remember there were a lot of people see it differently, right? Sometimes they see it as, oh my goodness, it's a textbook heavy material. How on earth am I
Jargon,
remember that?
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
Dr. Romila came with an idea that, listen, it doesn't have to be all daunting.
Hydrological,
We can make this-
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
we
fun
can-
part too.
we
Fun
can
part too.
add fun into it and interactive. So that way, whatever traits is associated
Yeah.
with the water archetype, then you can recall pertaining to
And
memory.
that becomes impactful, even as
Precisely.
students
Yes.
gets more.
Yes,
fascinating
they're very
and
engaged
impactful, yeah.
in learning process, yeah.
No,
With
that is brilliant,
With
yeah.
that, you add personification. So when you add a personality to it, then
Mm-hmm.
you want to, by yourself, engage and do something, move forward, rather than us saying, do something about it.
Mm.
Now you have students and you saying, hey, if I'm a personality of ocean or glacier, I can let
I can
this
help.
get destroyed. I can let this get impacted.
Let's
What
heal
can I
each
do
other.
about it?
That's the
And
philosophy
that is
behind
a
it.
hidden driven force to do something about it.
Yeah,
Take
perfect.
initiative.
So that's why I said that that's more impactful, and that's the impact you get.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Is sustainability a privilege or a responsibility?
It's both.
It's both.
It's both. You cannot have one without the other.
True.
So it has to be, I would say, a privilege, because we are privileged. So that's what the indigenous people say, is it's not what we inherit, it's what we have borrowed for our future generation. It's exactly that.
That is amazing. All right, that is for it for that part of service and leadership. You guys were amazing. I get to learn so many things about that wonderful skit of yours. I'd love to see
Watch
that
it.
if you have any videos.
Oh,
of
actually,
that.
Ammar, after the show, we will quiz you on what archetype you are.
That's
Okay,
right.
I'll be happy to contribute
Yeah.
on that. We'll be moving to our next segment, which is more to do with your action, your accountability, and the hope for the coming generation or the future generations. Because awareness is power, but action is transformative. I think the good combination of both is what you guys are working on. What simple actions can individuals take to protect water?
Okay, so I would go with this basic, right? We all know, use less water, don't waste water, right? That's, everybody knows
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
sometimes, even sometimes I don't act on it. I let the tap running, more than 10-minute shower. I am telling the audience that we are all human. We will make mistakes. So don't just stop, oh, I made a mistake, and
Yeah.
I don't make it very daunting. These little things that you can actually ingrain in your life is what we are looking for. These, I don't know if you know, the municipalities around Ontario has the odd day, even day watering. Right? Do we even know about it?
Interesting, yeah.
If you are living in an odd number house,
Mm.
you can only water your lawn on odd days.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So find out about these efforts of water auditing, right? How can you get the usage down? Make sure I pin the water bill in your fridge if you have a family of 4 or 5 or 6. Make sure every member of the family knows what our usage is. Make it visible. That's the part of education. Accountability, take accountability, not just water, energy. Everything is interconnected,
True.
right? It's not just water. Biodiversity, how can we encourage that in our families?
Yeah.
That's what I want to tell your audience.
This is so interesting. Like I feel like there's so much to do with that,
Yes.
just to be a part of this,
Yes.
Yeah.
cause. Okay, wonderful. How can businesses and policymakers collaborate meaningfully on this wonderful cause of Water Speaks?
We can talk about companies like the car companies. So water we use everywhere, in every product, right? These are called virtual water.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to look around you and find me one thing that has not used water in their making process. One thing. I'm still waiting. I always throw this challenge to my students. I'm still
That's a
waiting.
very interesting
Somebody
one,
tell
yeah.
me.
I will add on
Yeah.
to Dr. Zehra is that AI, we know that AI uses a lot of water, and one of the things that really interests me is that AI is perhaps using fresh water or drinking water. So that's a debate
Yeah,
that we can
huge.
talk about. But really, it's an eye opener. What we want our audiences to recognize is, why is water important, right? What can we do about it? How can we protect it?
Yeah.
So, maybe be curious, be inquisitive, don't be shy or be afraid of, certain concepts or certain values.
Right.
That's what Water Speaks is all about. It's about, being the voice of water. We want to, raise questions and concerns and find a way, a very dignified diplomacy way to say, this is what solutions, or we can try to see what we can do to engage with our community.
And can I also add to your
Please.
question? Businesses first needs to, just very small thing, is to find out the usage of water can be reduced. The footprint has to go down in businesses. That's it. That's all.
I mean, that will be their contribution.
That's their
Whatever-
contribution.
whatever,
Yeah.
you
You
know,
don't need to
even-
donate. You don't need to do anything. Just basic minimum. How can I reduce my water
Usage.
footprints?
Absolutely.
Footprints.
That's it.
True. Thank you so much on that. What gives you hope when facing global water and climate challenges?
For me, I would had the pleasure of knowing Dr. Jane Goodall. She had an institute, it still does, in our School of the Environment at University of Toronto. And she always said there will be challenges. Of course, that's life. But do not lose hope. She always talked about clinging to that hope. And we continue small steps, big steps. It doesn't have to be, just this huge impactful thing. Small things if everybody does. Keep the hope, keep the anxiety low.
Right.
Always there is that sense of hope that things can be improved. And it does. There's so many examples around the world that things can change.
True.
Yeah.
So keeping on to the hope. Zehra, you want to add on to any upcoming plans or projects which are on the pipeline, or any events you guys are planning on?
Well, thank you for asking, Ammar. Yes, we are actually planning.
Amazing program,
We're
yes.
planning a fantastic
Zehra.
program.
Yeah, go ahead, please, please.
We are planning in fact, we're planning a fundraising gala that is coming up on June 6th.
Okay.
Of this year, 2026, and we hope you can join us.
It will be a pleasure.
We
yeah.
need media there.
So this program, this event is slightly different. What we want to do now is to welcome corporations
Okay.
and non-profit organizations. So really, the stakeholders,
Yes, all of,
policymakers, and
yeah.
of the
Civil society,
civil society.
everybody included, yeah.
Dignitaries,
Yes.
what have you. So don't want to spoil a lot for you,
Yeah.
but a bit of a teaser here, and we are still in the works.
Yeah.
And we would love to join you in the next segment and elaborate more about it.
Absolutely, it would be a pleasure. We can plan something out.
Yes.
We are towards the end of the show, and I would request you both to have a brief message for our viewers on this camera, please. Dr. Romila.
Okay. So my message for everyone, especially for youth, don't be disheartened. Accumulate knowledge, learn about how the system works. Don't ignore environment. Please, whatever course you're doing, you could be a computer science student, economics, political science, you have to seep in environmental thinking into everything you do. That's the need of the hour. So please do that. So my message also is, any little that you can contribute or change your lifestyle, whatever you can do, please do. And in the process, have fun. Don't feel that, you're just, it's boring. Just have fun. That's it.
Amazing. Thank you. Zehra would like to say a few words to our viewers, please.
Yes, please. Ladies and gentlemen, everything is water. Water is everything. We started off with this, beautiful message. And really, it reflects literally and metaphorically speaking.
Yes.
If you carry this message, if there's anything we would hope, a takeaway message from this program, is if you remember these two sentences, it can change your life for the better. We can go on about what's going on. We don't have to say anything because you can see climate change is already taking its course. However, this doesn't mean it's the end of everything. This is an opening of a new chapter, an opening of hope, mercy, empathy. And what Water Speaks is trying to achieve here is to gather more viewers like yourself to join our cause. If you believe in water, if you know that nature stands a chance, join us. Be our voice, be a voice for water. One of the things you can do right now is to conserve water. One of the things I started doing an activity with my children is that after you finish taking a shower, there's a bit of a pressure that happens near your tap, right? So oftentimes, I'll be honest, there was a time I would just press that and the water would gush out. Right?
Yeah,
Pressure,
yeah.
of course. I started doing something, I started conserving it. So I would get my child's bucket, toy bucket, and I'd start conserving. And you will be surprised how much water
you
is
collect, yeah.
accumulated over time. And then my daughter started seeing this, she's about 5 years old, and she started this practice, this exercise. And believe it or not, she beats me to it. She'll remind me after
Good for her.
a daily water activity. She'll say, hey mom, don't forget we gotta conserve water. I said, that's a brilliant idea, dear. So you can start doing that. Make it a fun family activity. Because we want our children to recognize that we should not take nature for granted. Oftentimes we are too busy thinking about our livelihoods, but how often do we think about water? That is something I'd like you to think about.
This is
That's amazing.
Thank you so much. Such beautiful, insightful thoughts by both of you. Thank you so much for talking about the water and what water can impact, even saving or conserving water and letting
Absolutely.
the kids do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's such a beautiful way of teaching them how to, participate or contribute to that wonderful cause. Thank you so much for being on the
Thank
show.
you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
so
you,
much
Ammar.
for taking time out, and I wish you all the best with the this wonderful cause of yours. And I really would request all the viewers to join you as a team, as whatever capacity they can. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you,
so
Ammar.
much for having
Thank
us.
you. Thank you.
Okay, what a wonderful conversation, what a unique concept, what a different dialogue altogether about Water Speaks. Today was not about just a single success story. It was about a shared responsibility. Water Speaks reminds us that real challenge does not speak too loud. It needs to be informed, intentional, and inclusive. That's what these wonderful women are doing, asking people to contribute, to join the cause, or at least to that level. For example, for the corporations to, reduce the footprints or reduce the waste of water is what at least we can do from our end. Thank you to the Water Speaks team for reminding us that water may be silent, but the message is clear. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep choosing responsibly, as our wonderful guests are doing. This is Ammar Sheikh, your host, and this was The Journey with Ammar Sheikh. Thank you so much.